Hello my friends, is knife throwing dying or it's a growing sport? We're gonna discuss it today. So, let's get started. So first, let's talk about a little bit my history, because I'm throwing knives already more than 10 years. So if I go to my first day of knife throwing, I was so fortunate because I met the legendary knife thrower called Josef Pepe Smekal, and he showed me how the knife throwing actually really works, the techniques, told me about the community, and he told me that I should definitely visit some kind of knife throwing competition. So already when I was throwing just 1 month or something like this, he took me for the championship of Czech Republic in knife throwing. And there I have seen absolutely insane level of knife throwing. Of course there I wasn't even competing because they were so good. But that actually gave me really amazing basics and amazing start for my knife throwing career. I was very fortunate. And since I also had a small company called Sharp Blades that is still working today, I was also able to get my custom throwing knives. At that time I was using the oscillator shape. So I was working really hard, like 1 year. I was just throwing knives all the time in the forest and learning the no-spin techniques. At the same time, I also discovered the amazing community on the YouTube, like a Colette, RC Samples, and I have seen some legendary throwers like Ralph Thorne, Hosan Suzuki, Neil Ahmadu. These absolute legends really inspired me to get my throwing to another level. So I was throwing really a lot 1 year, and at the same time I went for the competition in the Czech Republic, and guess what? And this competition, for such a hard work, I was almost at the last place. So that very discouraged me to continue with my training, but I didn't give up. But at the same time, I also lost my job for the video production, and that was really like a bummer. But I also decided to not give up and continue in my career as a knife thrower, video producer, and also selling the bladed weapons, throwing knives mainly. So I continue, and in 2016 I was able to visit the Maniago Championship, and there, after really hard work, I was training sometimes even 12 hours a day, I became the world champion in instinctive knife throwing and also in the long distance throwing. Definitely one of the best moments of my life. I was also working with the biggest YouTubers at that time, like a Zombie Go Boom, Brainfu, and other big channels, Jörg Sprave, Scalagrim. So I was very fortunate from very beginning, have the best resources and working with the best people possible. So around that time was, for the knife throwing and X throwing, I believe everything perfect. We were going into the right direction because the community was really growing and everybody was making full-length videos. That means it's some kind of beginning, middle, you have some kind of point, and there is a end of the video. Full length, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Basically, you have to show your skill in these videos. There is no edit. You have to be able to throw great or show some mistakes, because that's totally normal. That's knife throwing, how should be portrayed. Like, we are not perfect, and even the best throwers from all around the world are missing the knives all the time. So, like I said, knife throwing was developing, the community was growing, but our competition were basically on the same level like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Basically, the bunch of people from all around the world is meeting, like 100 people, 150 people, and if you are fortunate enough, it's your lucky day, you will become the world champion if you really work enough. But after this, there is no reward, there is no prize money, so you only get like a few likes on the Facebook, and after like a few weeks, it's basically done. Of course, in this community, your respect will be still same. You will be world champion, but for the millions of people around the world, they have absolutely no idea how knife throwing is hard, or is it even sport. And around, I believe, 2017 or something like this, World X Throwing League was introduced. It was basically concept of big targets using only X. There were some kind of like a hardware store X or something like this, plywood, not classic these log rounds, and they were throwing from only one distance, about 4 meters, which is sweet spot for the X throwing, where you are able to stick the X almost every single time. And this concept was very interesting because it became almost like a dart. Amazing for the business, because people are able to throw the X's right away. And big change came after the viral video from Jason Momoa. He sipped a little beer and throw the X, and he said, "Oh, I love this," or something like this. Check it out. And after this moment with Jason Momoa, X throwing became so popular, but only this model, the WATL, from these different companies. During that time, they starting to build these venues all around the world under their umbrella, the WATL. And the Jason Momoa, meanwhile, was on the show from the Ellen. He was explaining the X throwing, and these videos have millions of views. He explained the way how to throw the X, but in the WATL way. So for us, we stayed in the shadows. Nobody asked us like, "Hey guys, you also have the champions in the X throwing or knife throwing, or how does it work?" These people don't even know that we are existing. I don't have nothing bad to say about them, because they achieved, I think, what they want. This concept, it's really amazing. So people get introduced into the X throwing, and now also the knife throwing. They have now like a WKTL or something like this. So it's very interesting. You can get into the throwing easy. And what I really like on them, they try to develop this throwing on some kind of paid model. Like you will get some reward. If you are a really great X thrower or knife thrower, you can achieve some kind of status. You can win some prize money, you will be like on the cards. Like, it's very interesting for the future. Because I can tell you from my own experience, there I have seen many great throwers in our community. But if you have no money from this, there is no basically future how to like secure your family, how to pay the mortgage, how to pay your bills. These throwers, after some time, they'll have to realize like, oh, like, do I want to have a fun and throw knives, or do I want to protect my family, buy food on the table, you know? So you have to decide. And a lot of people, because of that, decide like, oh, knife throwing is just a fun hobby, so I will quit this, or very limited throwing, and I will rather back to the work. And I believe there is something missing in our knife throwing community, and something definitely need to change. We should follow up this model that WKTL and WATL created, but show the world how knife and X throwing really is. Because what the WATL and WKTL is showing, I believe it's only 1%. Because we are talking about only one setup distance and usually only one technique, which is the full spin with the knife or with the X. So there is absolutely huge potential. But really big change happened when TikTok was introduced around 2020, everybody starting to making these vertical short videos. And I believe that really sucks. I really didn't like it first 2 years because it limiting knife throwing and X throwing so much. For the vertical video, you don't see what's happening on the left side, you don't see what's happening on the right side. You can so much better view on the horizontal format. And also, a lot of these TikTok channels and reels got so much views, millions of views compared to the full-length videos. So a lot of throwers actually stopped making like a full-length videos and they are making like the shorts. But now people totally lost like the attention span. It's so short now because everybody is just scrolling, and now if these channels are uploading the full-length videos, they can have 100,000 of subscribers. These full-length videos get really little views, like not even 1,000 views. And I believe that's really wrong that we are going this path, because for the short videos you have no idea how long that trick shot took, and sometimes it's very difficult to explain something in the few seconds. So let me know, what do you think about the short videos? Are they cool, or they are also hurting the community in some way? Let me know. So how we get out of this situation? I believe knife and X throwing community from all around the world should start working together more than ever before. I believe if we have the solid conversation, and don't take this video as an offensive, but as a source of the information and how we can do this in the future, I believe something can really change. Because as you know guys, before the knife throwing, I was just ordinary skater. But even skateboarding, before, they were see this as a, not as a sport. We were watched like, oh, it's some kind of drug guy or something like this. But now, do you know where is knife throwing? Or I mean the skateboarding? Skateboarding now, it's an Olympic sport. And the best skateboarders are now able to make a lot of money and make a living. Yes, it's only like 1% of the skaters from all around the world, but you give this hope and dream to also to other skaters. And I want to achieve the same for the knife and X throwing for the future, and I believe this is the way to go. Of course, knife throwing competition can still be the same. We can all meet up, have a drink of little beer, but at the same time, there's gonna be always some throwers that want to take this to another level, that they don't want to drink, they don't want to smoke, and they want to be really hardcore athletes and get the best results as possible. So I believe this is the future that we should go as a knife throwing community. So let me know please your opinions in the comment section below, because I believe this is a really important topic that we should be discussing all together. And like I said, don't take this as a hate. This wasn't aimed at nobody. Like I said, I only want the best for the knife and X throwing community, especially for our future. All right guys, so for today, that's it. So thank you buddy for watching. Share, like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to support the channel, there's going to be a link for these sharp blades flying dragons. See you next time.